Okay, we're recording. Hi guys, hello everyone. Welcome to the Access India radio show for April.
Yo!
Awesome! Yay!
That what else is possible?
We have three beautiful guests with us today, three lovely facilitators. First one is Casey Chris, who will be coming to India to facilitate the right voice for you very soon.
Awesome.
Yes. And then we have Cass Thomas, who will be joining us any moment. And we have our third guest today is Chandana Bawa, who will be talking about all her creations.
Thank you.
So we will start with Dr. Casey Crisp, and we'll be asking you a few questions. And if you could let us know more about the Right Voice for You masterclass that you're coming in for. And the class dates are, I think, 27th, 28th, and 29th of April. The venue is
27th through the 20th.
Yeah.
I'm getting some skipping in the internet, so if I don't answer your exact question, and forgive me, I might not have gotten all the words. So what was your question? What about Right Voice? I'm happy to talk about Right Voice.
Yes. So could you tell us more about the Right Voice for You masterclass, the 3-day class? What will you be doing in that, and what can people look forward to? So even though many people are not on board right now.
One thing to know is that Right Voice has no prerequisites, so you don't need any prior access experience at all to come participate in this class. For me, it's one of the most dynamic and one of the most fun classes because it's freeform. There's no manual. And so we get to where somehow, I'm kind of famous for asking questions that go right to the heart of the matter, if you dare to be so bold. We get to issues that people have come to classes and haven't resolved time after time, and using the stage, it allows their life to change. Like Gary loved to tell a story about this 6-foot blonde woman who could only sing like this. And when she could sing, suddenly she was also a sales rep for a pharmaceutical company. After she sang on stage in class in a totally safe environment, then when she went out to do sales, her sales just were more than she'd ever sold before the very next week. So it can affect your income when you're willing to be show up too. Sometimes people call it a singing class. It's not really about singing at all. It's really about how do you show up with your unique voice in the world? And where are you stifling your voice in the world? I was thinking about making an announcement at Gary's Foundation and stand up on stage and say, how many of you would rather die than be on stage in front of 1,000 people? And then say, how many of you would rather be on this stage and die than tell the truth about what you know to your mother-in-law, to your spouse, to your significant or insignificant other, to your kids, to your boss. And I think I would have gotten a lot of response that a lot of people are in that place. So we created a place where it's possible for you to express who you really are in a very gentle way. I did a one-day a couple weeks ago in Bangalore, and one person was actually afraid to come. She said, oh, my family and my in-laws think I'm already too outspoken. You're not going to make me worse, are you? And actually, what was occurring is she was setting up an either-or universe. She was setting up either I say what I think or I say nothing and totally deny myself. And by working with her over a very period of time, we got to a place where she could see she had many, many more choices available. She wasn't stuck in this chocolate and vanilla world when it came to being herself with the relatives that were all around her all the time. So and it's fun. It's just so fun, and we laugh a lot and do silly things and get free and become non-Indian, become just an infinite being, and it's fun.
Cool, awesome.
That's awesome.
You also mentioned about Sonal. You had worked on her when she was your class participant in the last Right Voice for You masterclass last year.
You were saying ना तभी?
हाँ ऐसी हाँ आज अभी यहाँ पे आप करके आ जाओ फिर बैठ जाना फिर You need any help?
No baby. हो गया. I make pesto with that. I got focaccia bread and I make pesto.
Yeah, the sound's not very good on my end.
Can you hear me, Casey?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were mentioning about Sonal. You had worked with her on in the previous Right Voice for You 3-day masterclass last year, and you were mentioning about the changes that you saw in her this time when you met her at the CA training. So can you speak more about that?
Yes, I saw her in at Facilitators in Rome, and I didn't recognize her. Actually, I recognized her voice, this distinctive voice, but the being had changed so much. She'd actually gone from being this little, energetically like this little kid, even though she has a medical degree. It takes more than being a little kid to get that. But anyway, she'd gone from being this kid to being this amazing woman. It was just so astonishing to see, and that's of course why we do this. So if found on and she could speak about it, it would be great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And actually, if you watch the India Facebook page, in a couple of days, I did a testimonial from her now. There's already testimonials up there right after the class, but the testimonial 8 months later is also amazing. And I haven't posted that yet because I'm doing Gary's foundation, but I'll post that in the next couple of days. So be looking for that.
And I'll also post your previous testimonials, the videos that you sent us.
Yeah. That was right after class, and you'll see here's Sonal talking then, and those are amazing testimonials also.
Cool. So does anyone else have any questions for Dr.
Does anyone out there have any questions?
Can you share can you share one favorite tool of yours that you like to play with?
Favorite tool. Asking questions, of course. In a way, I don't do anything except I just ask questions. But in asking questions, it just twists people's whole universe in a way that much more is possible. It's kind of like they come in and it's all tied up, and by asking a question, they're like this package that's all tied up, and all kinds of things start to unravel. A tool from X. Okay, I've got a tool. This one changed my life majorly. We had an assignment at a Right Voice Facilitators to do 5 things overnight that would cause people to say no to us. And my biggest awareness from this was, I hate it when people say no. I had so much resistance. Like, you dare not say no to me. I mean, it really opened my eyes to how much I just hate having no said to me. So of course I had to change that point of view. And we actually had some fun with it. This was in Paris. And I went out to dinner with some friends, and we were talking and walking around the city and having a bottle of wine, another bottle of wine. And then we're like, oh shoot, we're supposed to get 5 no's by tomorrow morning. So the person I was with asked the waitress, oh, could we have this meal for free? And she said, well, I'd love, but I can't, my boss wouldn't let me. And then I asked, well, could we have the wine for free? Oh no, I can't do that. And then the owner, and we'd already had 2 bottles of wine between the 3 of us, was probably enough. And then the owner of the restaurant came by, put out 3 glasses and poured out a whole bottle of champagne to share 3 of us as his gift. So just one little example of the magic things that can happen. So don't any of you do this, whether or not you're doing the class. I don't want you to try this tool. Ask questions that you think you shouldn't get a no to and see what happens. That was a really fun tool to play with.
That is so cool. I think it also, even for me, I have this huge sense of fear of rejection too.
Exactly.
That would be so awesome.
Fear is real, right?
That is so cool. What else is possible with that?
Yeah. It's a really fun one to play with. And at first you go like, oh no, I hate people to say no to me. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, that was just their point of view. And I can change my point of view about being said no to too,
Yeah.
That's possible.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Actually quite amazing, because when I attended the Right Voice for You facilitator training this time in Rome, and I remember asking Gary a question about going blank in a Zoom call, and he did speak about it, and my voice was actually wobbling when I was speaking with him. But when I came back a week later, I went and actually addressed a group of about 250 people, students. They were about from the age group of 20 to 21-year-olds. And it just went really smoothly, and I was just so confident on the stage, and it was amazing. So yeah, that's the kind of level of change that a Right Voice for You masterclass creates. So that's awesome. So
cool. Yeah.
So the class.
I mean, the things this class can change. You know, if you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the things that this class can change go way, way, way beyond your imagination. You know how Gary says you don't want to just go for what you can imagine or visualize because that's limited to what you can think of. Well, it's the same with this class. The change that can occur is far, far beyond what you imagine possible. The people in the one-day class I just did said that, and in 3 days, there was such an intimacy in the class and such a caring and such a support for people to show up and be everything they came here to be. It's just really just this, it goes from being, oh, scary, you could be on stage, to, oh, this wonderful, nurturing environment. Why would you not show up? So that's what this class is for me.
That's awesome. We are looking forward to this. The class dates are 27th, 28th, and 29th of April. It's going to be held in Mumbai, and we will send out all the details on the Access India show very soon. And yeah, we will also be
So the only way I could post the class on the Access website was called Unlocking Your Creative Genius, but it is a 3-day Right Voice. You know, we're working with the website people to get a drop-down made, but it's not there yet. So Unlocking Your Creative Genius is the name of the class on the website.
cool. Thank you so much, Casey. We are really looking forward to the class with you.
Yes, we are. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It just popped into my head. Someone must need to hear it.
Our second guest for today is one of my favorites, Cass Thomas, who is a body class facilitator.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So lovely to see you all.
It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you. Sounds exciting. Hello, darlings. Sounds exciting. You guys are creating beyond this reality. So expanding, and I love watching the foundation online because all the questions are coming from India.
Yeah, most questions.
Most of them. It's so cool. It's so cool.
That's because we're new at it, you know, we're still learning.
Yeah. What would it take for us to continue to be new at everything and just, right, recreate it each time? Yeah.
Yes, your class held in Bangalore on the 19th, 20th, and 21st of July. Would you like to speak more about the body class and what it entails, and what changes does it create for people?
Yeah, well, maybe you could speak more about that. I think almost everyone on the call is in one of my body classes.
Well, can I speak about that? Can I share my little thing about it?
Please do.
So,
how many have you attended, Isha, Baby Bawa?
I actually can't count. I have attended quite a few, and what else is possible? I started my journey of access, and right then I got introduced to Cass through RD sir, and it completely changed my life. I went and attended the classes, and I worked with you as your personal assistant, And just being in her energy, being with her energy changed so much for me. What I was back then was someone who was completely kept in I kept myself in a shield. And okay.
RD baby, I think that's you making noise, honey. You have to silence your mic. Okay.
And
Go
the
ahead,
the body classes, it's even though it's called a body class, but for me a body class goes so much beyond just the appearance of a body or a pain or an ache or anything. It's about complete, you know how Gary talks about embodiment of being the just using the energies and using your body to create magic in your life. That's what I learned from being in your body classes. And one of my favorite classes to facilitate today are revolving around bodies, only because of all the knowledge, the awarenesses that I got through being in your body class. And I remember in one body class, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I remember in the first body class in Delhi, there was my friend's mother-in-law. She had this entire issue with, I don't know how I'm going to lie down on the table for like 3 days, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have this ache, I have that ache. And she had come for the book signing, and that's when she spoke to you about it. And you spoke to her, and you just quickly facilitated her within like a minute or 2 minutes. And she was in the class. And the funniest part of it is you were just like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize Mafi Benchi's here. Ria's mom-in-law, Kiran Bua. And you were just like, I didn't even recognize her because her entire energy was so different. And that's what the body class does. It just completely shifts you into a space and you don't even realize what happened.
Exactly. You know, it's funny because you usually don't want to tell people at the beginning, a shift is going to happen, because then, you know, maybe they stop it with their projections and expectations, right? But it does happen in the body class. It happens all the time. Gary Douglas says it's one of the most brilliant classes he's ever created. And the thing is, it's called a body class, and it's not a misnomer. However, our bodies are always with us. We may not always be with our bodies, but our bodies are always with us. So you bring your body into a relationship, into business, into eating, into walking, into singing, into every area of your life. So that when you have more harmony, more communion, more communication with your body, it vibrates differently. It sings, it's happy. And that vibration is so perceptible to other people. I just got an email from a woman who said there's so much change since the body class that I did with you. And I'm great at the body class because I love it. But all the body class facilitators are great. We're all different, which is so yummy. And so it's so nice to experience different ones. I know RD will say that, but I sort of pushed him into it because he is so gentle, and that's a different energy. It's like, I'm kind, I'm playful, I'm pushy, pushing you to be more of you. He's gentle and kind. There's other people that are, sassy. There's so many of us now, and how does it get any better? And what would it take to have more? That each one invites you with a language that hopefully will speak to you in a way that has you and your body showing up in a different way. So get to a body class anywhere. You really have to work hard not to have a good time.
Can I say something?
Oui, monsieur.
Body class.
Yes. Tika.
So Cass's body class was the third body class I attended. And for me, it was like attending the first body class ever. She is phenomenally different and phenomenally wonderful at the body class. It was so beautiful attending the class with her. And both Kiran and me, we have so much of gratitude for Cass for the way she changed our lives by these body classes. And it's still changing our lives. We have gratitude for you, Cass, for what you've done and for the way you conduct your beautiful body classes. And I'd suggest anyone who's looking to do a body class, don't miss up on doing a class with Cass Thomas.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Another
you.
one
Say it
ever.
again?
You'll never get another one like Cass ever.
Thank you, darling. And we've done a lot together, web classes together also.
Yes.
And we did your first class in Denver. I just was talking to 2 people from that class, and they're just still so grateful in Denver, Colorado. And they're different. You know, I receive from them, each one of them. And one of my, I'm going to say regrets is that I fall in, the people who know me know I fall in love really easily with, everyone in the class. It's like, we're so vulnerable with one another in the class. And so sometimes, we're on a roll and I don't always get a chance to connect back with people. So if you happen to be someone who's been in my class and we haven't connected back physically or even talking, please know you stay with me in my heart. And my heart just keeps growing. And I got to say, India, thank you for inviting me on the show. India, my first trip, I wanted to say change my life, but I was about to say save my life, and I guess that's true. Well, my first trip was at the 7-day when when I came to Delhi and Chandana hosted the class, so beautiful, and put together this amazing book launch for the 7 Steps book. She was like, "Oh, I've never done this before, but what do you think?" And I'm like, "It's like the best ever," and creative. But what I learned, and I will say learned, even if we're infinite beings and we know everything, and yet we can remember things. I learned what success is about in India, and it has nothing to do with what this reality says it is. It has to do with you acknowledging the greatness of you, the kindness of you, the gift that you are, and that's what my first classes in India were for me. The people, I don't know what brand of magic you guys have there, the land, but it is such a gift to me and my body. My body loves India. So it exudes the kindness that I receive and gift, and it just, it allows my heart to flourish. Is Sonali on the call? I thought I saw her. Yeah, anyway. She said something to me so wonderful in the Mumbai class a couple of years ago. She said, I've seen you on Facebook and translating Gary and Dane and all this, and I thought I would be communicating with you, me, Sonali, communicating with you, Cass, up here, but you don't communicate like that. You communicate here. And gosh, that mascara was gone that day because I just... So I'm buying some waterproof mascara for my next trip. Yeah, and I love the body classes because they're awesome. And people have at least had the foundation in those classes. And I'm so honored that so many people who have had much more, a lot of certified facilitators show up. That's so cool. And so we get to play with the tools. It's like a foundational body class. I think you said that to me, RD, that it's like a foundational body class because how do you, okay, we've got all these tools. The foundation manual is like this huge, right? And we've got the COP and we've got all that. And how do we put them into action in our lives, the tools, in any situation that shows up? So I love giving as much of that information as I've been living over the last 14 years that I've been working with the tools of access. And I'm really grateful. And this last CF class in Rome was just tremendous. I mean, we're getting better, each and every one of us, but I didn't think it was possible, as Kieran said. I didn't think it was possible for it to get any better. But Gary and Dane are just off the hook. I already thought they were at the top, but they have blown the ceiling off of top, and the gift that they're being and encouraging. And maybe it's just I'm slow and I got it when I get it when I get it, but and encouraging us to use the tools of access, but to be the tools of access in whatever we do. You wash cars for a living, be the tools of access when you do that. I'm doing business training with my 7 steps, be the tools of access when you do that. Be the tools of access and everything will show up in a different way. So I love inviting people to that. And anybody listening, I'm just going on and on and on.
Of course,
On and on.
We're all here.
we all sing,
on and on.
As I had the privilege of attending one of the body classes with you in Mumbai, and I remember during the lunch break, you were passing by and then you stopped and then you were like, would you like to lower your barriers? And so I said, but yeah, my barriers are low. And you kept saying, no, some more, and they're still here, and keep lowering your barriers. And almost for about 7 to 8 minutes, you made me lower my barriers. And what changed for me after that, post-lunch, was anybody passing by would just keep coming and hugging me, or they wanted to talk to me, and they were like, it's so nice that you are here, part of the class. Would you like to swap body processes? And I was like, what just changed? It was just like that. Within seconds, things had changed, and everybody just wanted to come and hug. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, realize, even though when you say you've lowered your barriers, there's still a whole lot of barriers which are still there, which you perceived and made you lower barriers. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, well, a lot of times we're hiding. I mean, Dr. Chris was talking about that too, right? That a lot of times we're hiding and not wanting to be seen and be visible. And it's not a defensive thing or a pretentious thing. It's actually most people hiding behind barriers are the kindest, gentlest people, and they're just trying to protect the softness, right, of them. And the easiest way to do that is to lower your barriers, and you can see more of the beauty in other people also, right? And it's one of the steps. It's step 3 in my 7 steps. So I was we were talking about that. Yeah, thank you. And I'm excited to also facilitate that class, the 7 steps to flawless communication. It's called 7 Steps Explosion. Because, we take our bodies with us everywhere, but there's always people everywhere. Have you ever noticed that? There's the world is full of people. You might have noticed that in India too, right? Mm-hmm. So we have lots of different possibilities to communicate with others, and pushes a lot of buttons. It brings up a lot of stuff for us. So the more ease we can have with that, the more we can get out into the world and contaminate the world with consciousness, with the virus of consciousness. So I'm really excited about facilitating this STEPS classes and giving people more and more tools for being more comfortable in their communication, And it all starts with us. The more comfortable we are with our bodies, the more comfortable we are in our own skin, right? In Italian, you say nel proprio pelle. You feel comfortable in your skin, so you're not ever feeling wrong. And you have a curiosity. Oh, well, how do you see it? Oh, that's interesting. But it's not like, oh my goodness, I did it wrong. So that level of comfortability encourages others, like you say, to come up and say, hey, who are you? What are you having? What would you like to do? What would you like to play with together? And how much easier does that make our business when we don't have to go out and sell and promote and, come and pull people in? People are like, what are you doing? And how can I play with you? So I'm excited about doing that.
So we have
also there.
We have a question from Sunena for you. She's
good.
Saying, I've become a size bigger and my face and body look is I would love to lose weight, changing my exercises, but still not really working. Please help. So
If you were going to lose your personality with those kilos or pounds, would you still want to lose weight? Yes, no.
Nana, are you
Is it? Is she on? Is she on? Yeah. Because a lot of times we're so desperate to lose or eliminate or get rid of something that we haven't even really asked the question, right? About what else we could. Is that Berna? What else we could embrace that would give us the choice to lower our size, diminish our size, right? And not our personality. Hi, Verna, what you doing? She's very busy. Yeah. Yeah. So, and what if you didn't have, I mean, there's some, I love this because there's some standard access responses, right? And I can give them to you. So, truth, this isn't even, I call them standard. There's no standard. Does your body want to lose weight? Like, I remember when a few years back, I started putting on kilos or pounds. I prefer kilos because they're smaller. Put on 2.5 kilos, and you look at it, it's like, dang, 5 pounds, 6 pounds. I just came back from Boston, and I got on the scale there, and I was like, oh no, it goes above 100 there because it's in pounds. I was like, oh no, erase. But I remember when I started putting on some kilos a couple of years ago, and I was like, sarcastically, I didn't think of it as sarcastic. I said to my body, because I'm talking to my body, not with my body, to my body. And I was like, okay, body, are you planning on putting on any more kilos? And it was light. And I was like, oh my God. Oh no. So I was like, okay, let me ask a real question, right? I said, so what is that? What do you love about that? What is working for you about that? And what came up for me was also this point of view that if I put on more kilos, then I would be less sexually attractive, so that people would love me for me, right? For my, spiritual or, being, and wouldn't just be lusting after my body, right? So everywhere we've decided in what way we want to be perceived, right? Can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, puck, short, boys and men. Would you be willing to be received in all ways? For all of you. For your mind, for your being, for your body, for your laugh, for your crankiness, for your smell, and everything that is times the God say and be destroyed and created. Right, run, good, bad, all 9, pod, puck, short, boys and men. Because when we don't have a point of view about what parts of us, what flavors of us people are receiving, then we actually have choice. When we have the point of view, no, I don't want that. I'm going to try and not be what I am, right? Then we don't have choice. And we eliminate a lot of people who could receive us just for that, right? So everywhere we are deciding for our bodies and deciding for other people, as opposed to being willing to acknowledge at different moments in different times, different body shapes, different smells, different visions appeal to others and to us in different moments in time. Every time I come on this show, I say something so out of the box. I don't know where that came from, but there it is. Yeah.
There's one more question, Cass.
Thank you.
Okay. Chandana, you don't have anything to say, girl?
I would love to. Can I come in? Yeah. My body completely changed. It's like I really don't know where to start and how much of gratitude I have to you, Cass, for that body class that I did with you. It was my second body class. What shifted for me in that body class was so phenomenal. I mean, it's like I've spoken to so many people about the body issues that I've had, but the ease that I had with changing what wasn't working for me in my body showed up after this body class. It was no longer a battle with my body. It was like I was constantly in conflict with my body, trying to change what wasn't working, right? It was like all the time in conflict with the body. But after your body class, Cass, I actually came into communication with my body.
Yeah.
And actually, so that was so huge, which, and yes, like you said, there are such wonderful facilitators, body class facilitators there, and everyone has their own style. But what I loved about your body class was that, what you as a facilitator, if I may say so, was that you made me look at my body for what it is. You made me look at it for a creation of mine, right? It's something that I chose to create. Even the pains I chose to create. So that changed a lot for me. And there's so much of gratitude to you, truly so much of gratitude to access consciousness, to my favorite sweet Adi sir. If I can call him Muti on this show too. And of course to you, Cass. It's like, it's so phenomenal because every class that I did changed something for me in my body. But that body class that I did with you changed so much, so dramatically. It was suddenly I was actually talking to my body. Like when you hear for the first time communicating with the body, and people come across saying, how can you communicate with a body? It's like, it's not even practical it sounds so bizarre and so crazy to somebody who's not really, I wouldn't say been introduced to access, but who hasn't even heard of communication with the body, right? So when that started to show up, what was so wonderful was that I didn't have to work towards having a communication with my body. It just showed up. It was like one morning I get up and I'm asking my body, okay, body, what would you like to eat? And there was no work involved. It was just sitting in your class for those 3 days, which actually brought me into that. Yeah, so it was
Thank you for
phenomenal.
that. I hope we're taping this. I need to get. I actually love bodies. I've always loved bodies. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. It's cold. I just got back there, and I now remember why I left at 18 and to go to college in New York, because it's freezing. It was like -1 degrees in April, snowing on April 6th. Anyway, I digress. But it's also in colder places. They're not, if I can generalize, they're not always so warm and fuzzy and affectionate. But I always have been that way. I've always loved embrace and touch in bodies and, healing abilities that we have with our own body and what we can invite, right, in other people's bodies. And that's quite obvious. It's funny when I go to a class, Gary Ordained class, and people come up to me and they're like, I know you're a body class facilitator because I can tell you love bodies, because everyone, you're hug everyone hugs you. And so in having that no separation, right? No comfortable distance with your body, being willing to laugh with your body, Your feet are smelly one day. That's funny. It's like, oops, no need to pull energy from my feet. Come on back this way, That's funny. As opposed to, so learning the language of your body and teaching your body your language and communion with your body. It's like no longer monologue. Body, do this. Body, lose weight. Body, don't do this. Body, don't eat, don't eat, those cookies. No. To a dialogue, which is question, body, can we eat those cookies? To a communion, okay, buddy, I'm going to eat those cookies and then I'll take you for a walk. No worries. I get it, right? It's different. It's different. And so, and that's an energy. Gary always says 1 sentence verbally and 10 sentences energetically. And the body classes have been that gift to me because I tend to talk a lot, and it's much more communication than just the words. Yeah.
It's
And
like
it's people think it's about the, and it's not. It's about everything in your life. Yeah.
I remember we were sitting on the table in Bangalore just before your class, and the food had come, and I had a habit of overeating a lot. So I ordered so much of food, and I started eating. And I remember you just asked me a question about whether I'm eating my awareness down. I'm shutting my awareness down to eat. And it's since then, even today when I'm eating, it's just like, oh, then I have a sense of asking a question and being like, okay, am I eating to shut my awareness down? Or am I actually eating because my body is hungry?
Yeah. And just by asking that question, it might be like, oh, had I not asked that question, it would have been eating to shut my awareness down. Now that I've asked that question, I'm aware of it and I'm going to keep eating. Because a lot of people don't even want to ask a question, right? Because they don't want to have the awareness, right? Because they think if you are aware of something, you have to then follow
something
your
about
awareness. Right. It's not true. We don't do it now. So all the additional gift is that when you're aware of something, then you can change it, right? And so what you would have done unconsciously, if you do that same thing consciously, it turns out different. Yeah. There was a question though. Do you want me to read it? I got my glasses on just for reading.
Jyotika had a question. Yes, they're awesome.
Jyotika.
I can't eat from left side of mouth for 3 years since dental surgery for left lower third molar. Left side of tongue is also always paining. What can I do to be free from this pain and eat from left side of the mouth with ease and joy?
Change dentists, first of all. But the left side, we talk about locking stuff into the left side of the body. So is there something that is wrong that you're trying to make right in your life? And the moment after you ask a question, the awareness is there. So is there something wrong that you're trying to make right in your life? Does anybody get anything on that? You get yes, no. Also, is there something that you've left behind or should have left behind that
one thing
doesn't?
is coming with a relationship which everybody said was not right for me. I pursued, then left also, but I still feel a connection. And
Yeah.
maybe it's like everybody says it was wrong. I don't feel it wrong.
Yeah, that's so funny that was both of those questions then, right?
Yeah.
Something that was wrong you're trying to make right, and something that you left behind that maybe is not yet, that you still haven't been able to swallow it, leaving it.
But this issue started even before meeting him.
Yeah. So what if it has everything to do with that? And what if it has nothing to do with that? And what if everything is the opposite of what it appears to be? Yeah. And so truth, is there a body process that would help? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the easy ones are MTVSS, right? on the exact area with your hand, the fingers in the mouth. The truth is, there's something else you can add to it. I get yes, but there's something else that you might want to add to that.
Yeah, I've been doing MTVSS with trifold also, and regeneration of vitality of something like that.
Nerve tissues?
Yeah.
Is it a zero sum of trauma?
Yeah, that helped once I went, but then I don't continue with it, and then do it after sometimes for few days because I have to put my fingers inside because the entire left side of mouth, the tongue, the
Aren't we cute like that? Like something works and then we are like, okay, I'm not going to continue with it.
so
I saw a guy on the
but
foundation class yesterday.
But for
with
5
Gary.
to 7 days, when then there is no further improvement, then I leave it. So it's not been regular.
You know what, Amori? You know what you can ask? This is what's so cool about this work. It's energy work. You could just ask the energy. So truth, if I continue with this, is it going to contribute? Truth, do I need to change something here?
Okay.
Right. You can even perceive the energy. You don't have to like go home or go off the phone and ask that. You can just perceive the energy of it now. I know they want me to shut up soon, so I'm just asking you those questions fast. But you can benefit from these magicians on the line. And so truth, is MTVSS going to contribute to her, guys? Just put it in the chat, yes or no. What do you get? Is continuing with MTVSS on her mouth going to contribute to her? You put it in the chat? No? Yes? So read the responses in the chat, and each time you read one, see which one resonates, is vibrationally compatible with what's going on in your mouth. We only got 2 in there. Anyone else? Yes. Okay. Is there something I can add to this? And you know what MTVSS is like the bars, in that the more people you receive it from, there's a difference in the change that shows up. So is there somebody in particular, is it that ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm not sure which, that might be able to run some MTVSS on you? Ooh. The beautiful thing, do you want to know my favorite tool? It's asking questions, and asking the most absurd questions, and allowing your mind to get so twisted that it finally releases its control long enough for some awareness to seep in. So if you keep asking those questions like in a row, your mind will get so tired trying to fight for its position to give you the answer that it'll be like, oh, and boom, awareness has room to come in. Right? Yeah. So trick your mind out of control by continually asking the questions. Then take a deep breath, go for a swim or a walk so that you don't get crazy with the questions. And then when your mind's not thinking, slip in another question.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was good for me too. Thank you.
What would it take for me to be in your class?
Listen, you know what? A question like that. Keep asking. Have you already decided that you can?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just choose the class, Jyotika, and you'll be there.
Yeah.
So the dates are 19th, 20th, and 21st of July.
Yes.
Pardon?
I'm also
Can you
doing
tell
the 7
again?
Steps class and the Dancing with Riches. We use a lot of the tools of Access in the Dancing with Riches. You know, the energy flows, which I also use in the 7 steps. It's step 5, which are magical, which are a lot of fun, and the also presentation skills. So they're fun. I hope with Jim Lee from Bangalore will be doing some Zoom on it or something. So we'll invite you to that. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Cass.
Thank you,
we
darling.
We look forward to having you in India soon.
I'm always so grateful to be so well received. And thank you for your kindness. I love you.
Love you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We now move on to our
third guest.
Third guest, which is Chandana Bawa.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How did I get so lucky? Wow. Okay.
Would you like to tell us what are the changes that have been created, that you've been creating with the Access tools, and also all the creations you've written to amazing books, which is amazing. So,
Thank you.
would you
Thank
like to
you.
read the books and talk more about it?
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you so much, Smriti. It's like when you actually say that, it gets me to acknowledge my creations, because that's I think the key to actually creating greater, right? Is when you actually are willing to acknowledge what you're creating.
Yeah,
Because
so I saw those books lined up along with the rest of the Access books, PF training in Rome, and it felt so good. It was like
yes,
a proud moment. And I came
thank
to
you.
that. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yes, you did come and tell me. That just made me feel so good, you said. And I was like, wow, it's, sometimes you take these things for so for granted, and you don't think it's really anything that you've created. It's like, yeah, it's lying there, big deal. And then when I actually looked at it the way you saw it, it had me acknowledge that, okay, I have created something that is different. That's an inspiration. That's an invitation, right? Yeah. And when you actually start to create from that space, and when you start to acknowledge that you're creating from that space, there's so much more that starts to shift. I've so often spoken to you about this, Smriti, about creating, and about body pains, and about not being able to shift stuff. And when I read one line in Access which said that we all have OCD, we're all obsessive compulsive creators, right? OCC, and a lot of us create crap, which makes us OCCs, and instead of being the obsessive compulsive creators of magic. So talking about creations, it's actually a choice, right? Are you choosing to create magic, or are you choosing to create crap? Creation you will do, because either you create or you die, right? You only stop creating when you're dead. So we are going to create every minute of our breathing, every moment of our living. But what are we really creating? Right? For me, when I just read that, I was like, okay, so all these years that I've been creating from the unconsciousness of my being, and from the unconsciousness of what I'm truly choosing, I now choose to change that. So the minute you change that and you start to choose to create from the consciousness of your choices and the awareness of what would create greater in your life, so much more starts to show up. And again, like talking about creations, I can go on and on about talking about creations, because I just love creating, which I think is sometimes it's like I question myself, do I need to slow down? And the moment I try to slow down and fit into the reality of how fast I should go, guess what? I create pain in my body. So I'm anyway creating, right? It's like creating this or that. So like when you said to me in Rome that, in a matter of in such a short span, you've got 2 books out there. And you asked me, like, how do you even do it? And, you're not, that's a beautiful moment for all of us to share. What actually came to me was like what fabulous Cass and Casey both have talked about, in their, what also comes to me here with creations is, with our body, with our body, we are always judging our body and judging right and wrong and how it should be and how it should not be. We similarly also judge our creations, as not being perfect, as not being good enough, as you wanting it to be better. And that's what actually stops the creation, because we are looking for perfection. So the one question that I love asking myself almost every day is, am I willing to create perfectly imperfectly?
Awesome.
And how much fun can I have creating perfectly imperfect? What if a creation didn't have to be perfect? Which is my first book out there. My first book, Breaking Free from Pain Points, is not a perfectly edited book. It's like Isha and I often laugh about that. It's anything but perfectly edited.
So what is that book more about? What is it about?
So that book is actually about about breaking free from any pain point. So pain point is anything in your reality, anything in your life that keeps you up all night, which does not let you have the ease of even sleeping. It could be money, it could be your body pains, it could be a health issue, it could be your weight issue, it could be relationships, right? It's a pain point which keeps you up, which keeps you wanting to change it but not being able to change it. So it's like it's quite an interesting one actually. The first half of the book is about the pain points and talking more about the pain points in detail, and then it's about a 7-day journey taking you through a daily exercise with lots of clearings and taking you. It's almost like a class. It's like taking you through those 7 days, and if every day you actually open that book and do day 1, day 2, day 3, I really wonder what could shift for you guys. Because those are the tools that I used to change my pain points. Not just change, but to actually get rid of them and to start to create this magic in my life.
I'll have to get my hands on it.
Definitely, sweetie.
I read the other book, The Elegance of Being a Bitch, which was quite an amazing book, and there's a very nice clearing that you have in that. Would you like to share that clearing? The one
which one now? I have so many.
Shared with you.
Oh yes, so that's how the book actually got created, right? I mean, I was in the first Being You class in Mumbai with Dane, and I had never met Dane before, and I had never been to an Access class, which was so big before. So I was all trying to be proper and trying to project myself as a proper woman out there. And on third day, I finally went up to the mic and I said, I'm going to ask my question, to hell with it. And you know how it is, right? Before we start with Access classes, we are so full of our stories. So I went up there, took the mic in front of those 200 people in Mumbai, and I started with my stories. I'm not sure if... well, it was very true for me back then. Today I can laugh at it. And he asked me to actually stop running the story, because then the story runs and you don't. And the one clearing that he gave me was, what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be the rich witch bitch you truly be for eternity? And even now when I say it, I get goosebumps in my body.
Wow. That's
it was, yeah. And you know, when he said that to me, you know, Smriti, I don't know if you remember, but I cried for almost 6 months. Because he had asked me to become a bitch. So for me to be called a bitch in front of so many people was an abuse. It was like he abused me in front of everyone. And how much people told me around me that, no, it's just an energy that he's wanting you to be. I was like, no, I don't want to be that. It was like I was in so much of resistance.
डेली करना भूल जाते हो. 7 दिन भी लगातार मुझे बोला हुआ है किसी ने और मैं करती नहीं हूँ.
Go ahead, Chandana.
Yeah. So it's like actually resisting even the word. So here, I mean, can you imagine? I was resisting not just the word. I was resisting being the very energy. I was resisting anything that had to do with the energy of being a bitch. And so what that had me creating was nothing but bitches around me. I mean, what you resist persists, right? So I was so resisting being that. I was so resisting being rich, because in my universe, where I was so rich, I suddenly went into these financial situations which were not so much fun. That was because I was resisting being the energy of the richness that I that I am today, that I was back then. But because I was resisting it, I was keeping it away from me. And what that was creating was all this, I wouldn't call it chaos, because it was confusion. And again, about being a witch is just so interesting, because we all are witches, right? At least all of us sitting on this call today are witches. We all know we can do the magic. And yeah, and what starts to show up is that when you start to resist being the witch, you start to resist being the magic. So you start to, you start to create nothing. You start to create from the space of no magic. So you could be asking questions. You could be saying, I want to do this and I want to be that, but you're still resisting it. So me too, when I actually came into the allowance of me showing up as a rich bitch was when I wrote the book, The Elegance of Being a Bitch. Yeah.
It's quite a fabulous book. I remember writing a message to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. That meant so much back then, and it still means so much to me today, darling. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Have questions for Chandana?
So talking about creations, there are some yummy creations around the corner. There's one there's a class called Creating Beyond, which Isha and I are doing together on the, what are the dates? On the 21st and 22nd, which is actually a 1.5-day class, which is creating beyond the body. So anywhere that a body is a challenge in any form, or wherever we are still look, after doing all those classes, after doing all of that stuff, you're still finding it difficult to create with your body, or still finding it difficult to receive your body, probably one could consider doing this class. And I've just become a conscious parent, conscious kid facilitator, and I'm so excited about that. I can't begin to tell you, Smriti. It's like this joy that I have. And Isha knows, because she sees me jumping up and down constantly, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying to facilitate the first class.
Awesome. We're looking forward to your first class.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes.
So I know there have been moments where there has been a high and there has been lows, right? There have been highs and lows. We're going to be a complete liar sitting over here if we say there's just been a whirlwind of creation throughout, and which is written in your book too. So if you can share a few tools with people out there who are facing challenges and who see you today as an inspiration for creating the change that you did in your life, what are a few tools that you would share with them?
Thank you for that question. Yes, the first tool that I would actually share with everybody out there is to be an allowance of your crap. You know, we've been talking about what is the value of creating shit? What is the value? No, those questions which we get facilitated all the time, even when we're not looking for facilitation. So the first thing that I'd really like you all, which I really do, is if you want to step down for a while, and I don't even mean step down, but if you really want to be in that pile of poo for a while, be in it and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Ask it to turn up. Don't judge yourself for being there. Instead, say, I'll turn it up. Okay, I have the body pain. Come on, let's turn it up. And I give myself a day, and then I'm not going to be swimming in this pool. Whatever it takes, whatever I have to choose to be here, whatever is required of me, I will be it. So actually stop judging yourselves when you are not creating what the world thinks you should be creating, or what you have decided you have to be creating. What if it's okay? What if it's okay? What if it's fine? And just that one step forward is what's required. It's not about running all the time. It's about just taking a step forward. And if taking a step forward is into your poo for that moment, take that step forward too. But take a step forward, guys. It's when you stop that you actually decay. It's when you stop that it's stagnant. And it's when you stop that it's death. So even if it means to take a step into the poo, take a step, but do not stop moving. That's one tool that I really would like to share with everybody out there. It's not about all the time moving forward and being the magic. And yeah, of course it is. But it's also about acknowledging that maybe my body's just tired. maybe my body just wants to do something that it's choosing to do, not necessarily what I have decided I have to do. Right? It's about being an allowance of you and of your choices, and not controlling everything. It's like if you're willing to be out of control, you're willing to go anywhere, even if it means into poo. So it's actually not controlling, just totally being out of control, allowing your body to be out of control, allowing your creations to be out of control. So I think that is the one tool I would like to share with everybody here.
That's awesome. And as Gary always says, don't wait, always create. So
yes,
don't wait
yes.
to happen to you. Just go ahead,
Yes.
keep choosing.
Yeah, keep choosing. Absolutely.
Never give in, never
stop.
give up, never quit.
Yes. Because what if, we often talk about a really beautiful thing. We say that let's just move, let's not go through the crap, let's go around the crap, right? But sometimes if there's chaos, you want to go through the chaos and just get out there. Maybe you can create with that chaos, right? I mean, we judge the chaos to be bad. So probably it's that chaos that you want to go through and not avoid. So what if you could be an allowance of it all instead of judging it?
Yes. Awesome.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions to ask Chandana? Chandana, when is your next class coming up? The Conscious Parent, Conscious
My Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids is coming up on the 15th of April. It's going to be a 4-hour class between